What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. In this video today, talking about somebody that we're no newer to talking about, and that's Mr. Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ. Always played well against the Ravens. I actually really hated it. But Ravens offered him a contract. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about a few things to discuss with that. One, should the Ravens sign Odell Beckham Jr.? Joshua and I have already talked about that. Not going to get too heavily into that. You guys check out the podcast for, more insights into that specifically, but also talk about what should the Ravens offer? How much is too much? And then finally, when do you go after a guy like Odell? Because there's also other news in the NFL right now. Like teams are potentially expecting the Cardinals to cut DeAndre Hopkins. So do you have to wait for DeAndre? How does that affect value, not expect value, affect value? And what are your expectations for kind of how this progresses? Should be a fun video today. Let me know in the comment section down below all of your guys' thoughts. But first off, when you're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. and the Ravens potentially, coming to an agreement, you have to consider there's another team involved, and that's the New York Jets. The Jets are involved in a couple of things. They're going after Aaron Rodgers. They're going after Odell. That's what they're doing right now. They also have some good draft picks in this upcoming draft, so they're focusing on that as well. We got about 20 days, 25 days until the NFL draft. So I want to get this out right now. I don't think Odell is signing before the draft. I think these teams are waiting and they're thinking, okay, if you're looking from the Jets perspective, hey, if the Ravens draft a wide receiver round one, they're probably not going after Odell. And then the Ravens are going, hey, if the Jets end up signing a wide receiver, they don't trade a wide receiver that they're potentially looking to trade, they're not going to go as hard after Odell Beckham Jr., right? So they're both kind of, I think, waiting, and I think Odell's also waiting where he goes, hey, if the Ravens and Jets don't get a wide receiver, money's going up, right? Because there's other guys on the table. When you're the last to the table and you're good, he is the last available good wide receiver. There's decent players, but he's good and has a chance to come back and be very good. He was great when he was healthy with the Los Angeles Rams. Was he prime Odell? No. But he was dominant. And he was very good in the playoffs. He was the best wide receiver in the playoffs. Best wide receiver in the playoffs. And that team had Cooper Kupp. So, obviously, he's had an injury since then, but, he has the potential to be great, but I think he's very good. So, when you're looking at should the Ravens sign Odell, I think it's a yes. I think they should go after him. At the same time, that doesn't mean throw him a blank check. I'm a firm believer in trying to go after players. And I'm almost always, it's going to be very rare for me to say, don't go after this player if they're a good player. Like, I think the first video on this channel was me saying, don't go after Corey Davis. Spoiler alert, Corey Davis sucks. All right. He's not a very good player. He's like a role wide receiver. Yeah, I have no problem with that. But Ravens fans were talking about like at him as a wide receiver one. He'd be a terrible wide receiver one. He's fine depth piece for your wide receiver core, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. He can be very good. Not a wide receiver 1. Odell Beckham Jr. is a player that I think, okay, you can pay him money. That doesn't mean throw him a blank check. I want the Ravens to get a lot of players. I don't want them to be stupid about it. So if you look at what Odell Beckham Jr. is reportedly wanting, which is about $15 million a year, and what the Ravens offered Darius Slay, which was about $14 million a year over 3 years, don't offer that to Odell. It's as simple as that. As much as I want Odell, I think the most I would be willing to pay is probably a $10 million 1-year deal. That's for a 1-year deal. If we lock down Odell for 3 years, I'd probably do 12. Probably do 12 million. That's probably what I would offer. And people may be concerned, wow, why are you going up in value in terms of 1 year versus multiple? The 1 year would be a prove it. If we lock down Odell for 3 years, let's say, and he balls out this year, he would get a lot more than 15 million. He would maybe get 20. He could get 22. for a 1-year deal for a team trying to contend. But if you lock him down for 3 years, I'd be fine with a 3-year, $36 million deal. Is he going to accept that? Probably not. He would probably prefer the 1-year deal because he knows that his value is very high. If he stays healthy, he's going to ball. He's going to put up good numbers. He's going to make those crazy acrobatic plays. Odell Beckham Jr., I don't care what age. You could put him age 1. You could put him age 30. You could put him age 50. He's going to be making highlight plays with those one-handed catches. I don't care. People are going to be talking about Odell no matter what. So I think offering him a multi-year deal is smart, and I would give him a little bit more money than that. I don't think he's worth the $14 million over 3 years that we offered Darius Slay, because I think Darius Slay at this point is better in his career. And I think he's at a position that is harder to replace in terms of immediate production via the draft. I think you could draft a wide receiver in round one, that in year one could have similar production to an older Odell Beckham Jr. Is it hard? Yes. I'm not saying that that's, oh yeah, you'll just draft someone to replace him. No. This isn't the running back position. Wide receiver, you still have to, develop them pretty well. We've seen Ravens have guys come in and be good. Like Rashad Bateman came in, he was pretty good. I'm not trying to knock him whatsoever, but, he didn't come in like Justin Jefferson. He didn't come in like Jamar Chase, which again, that's not the expectation. That's out of the norm. But you come in and be pretty solid as a wide receiver year one. I think Rashad Bateman was pretty solid. He was hurt at the beginning of the year, so it's tough to gauge. But that's kind of my expectation for how much to offer Odell. Why am I saving that $14 million? I would say that I would offer that to DeAndre Hopkins. Odell Beckham Jr., I'm not paying 14. DeAndre Hopkins is worth $14 million a year over 3 years. I would give that to him in a heartbeat. I would give him a 1-year deal worth $14 million. I would give him a 3-year deal worth $14 million. I'd pay him 15. I'd pay him 16. I'd maybe even pay him 20. I fully believe that DeAndre Hopkins is still a top 7 wide receiver in the NFL. A lot of people will look at it and they'll be like, oh, well, he was hurt last year. And that's what I hear the most. He wasn't hurt last year. He was suspended. And he came back and he looked dominant. He looked great from the jump, and he was missing his quarterback for part of the time when he was back. DeAndre Hopkins is still legit. And if there's a chance that the Cardinals are going to cut him, first off, there would be a bidding war. And the Ravens would have to struggle with that. But at the same time, if they got him, that's why I think you wait on Odell. If you could get DeAndre Hopkins. I think Odell would be a great signing. DeAndre Hopkins would be an unbelievable signing for the Baltimore Ravens and what they're looking for. So, overall, when I'm looking at what the Ravens potentially offered him, I feel like they lowballed him. He wants 15. How do I know he lowballed him? He didn't sign him right away. He wants $15 million. Those are the reports. Well, he probably didn't get offered that if he's still saying, I want this. So I'm thinking it was probably around 10. What the Ravens offered. They offered Juju about $10 million a year last year. So I think that's kind of the number that not saying Juju and Odell are similar, but I think that's the number that the Ravens are comfortable with paying a wide receiver on a 1-year prove-it deal. Because that was the offer for Juju, was 1 year, 10 mil, prove it. Let me know in the comment section down below your guys' thoughts. How much would you pay Odell? And if you think I'm way over or way under, let me know. I like talking with you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content. I'll see all of you again tomorrow.